This episode is brought to you by Loot Crate, the monthly subscription box for geeks, gamers, and pop culture nerds.
Nerd!
For March, they've got some stuff coming out for Dawn of Justice. It's going to be great. You love the Loot Crate. You know what's coming in it. You don't know what's coming in it. It's great stuff for Dawn of Justice and other things that are happening this month. You have until the 19th at 9 p.m. Pacific to subscribe and receive that month's crate. And that's when the cutoff happens. After that, that's it. It's over.
Get out of here. Go to lootcrate.com/ETC and enter code ETC. You'll save $3 on your new subscription today.
So go get it, because you know you're going to get some Batman stuff.
Get a box of bats.
Wait, hold on, let me chew my Altoids first.
Oh no! Everyone, wait for Maddie to chew his fucking
I don't want
Altoids.
to chew this.
Well, too bad we're putting it in the episode now.
You know,
That's the intro.
I'm editing this, so I can't.
No, you don't cut this. Do not cut.
You wouldn't want your bad breath coming through people's speakers out into their nostrils.
We got Elliot's dog clang that stupid thing the whole time, so I'm sure your Altoids are fine.
Yeah, I hate people chewing in microphones. It's one of my podcast pet peeves. And I actually listened to a podcast about fast food, and they actually eat on it. It's just no, it's not. It's a comedy podcast.
Oh,
It's
okay,
funny.
okay, good.
It's like diners, drives, and drive-ins.
Yeah.
You know, I would
Triple D.
I would totally listen to a Triple D podcast.
Oh, I would too.
With the guy Fieri.
Oh yeah, they should just make him record a podcast while he's on the road to all the different diners.
Out of bounds.
Whoa!
Oh man, that's crazy.
And then he just falls asleep and snores. It would be really great. Anyways, guys, we just got back from England. Great intro. I love these nonsensical intros. This dog is maniacal.
Pass over.
So you just got back from England, so we're going to talk a little bit about what we did there, and then we're going to get into some questions from you. I got in first, but I didn't really do much, so I just kind of waited around for Elliot, who was there a day late because he had to play a stupid show with his garbage band. What's your band called now? Venetian Skyline?
That's a good name. No, it's called Cold
that come
Violets.
from?
But
Cold Violets.
if we ever get copyright struck for that, Venetian Blinds will be there. Venetian Skyline.
Yeah.
Venetian Hotel.
Yeah, it was a band that I listened to when I was in like high school. A local
Oh,
band.
so it's already taken.
Yeah.
Shit.
Well, I don't think they're gonna copyright strike you. Anyways, so you got there, and then I think like that night we went out and had the fan meetup, which
Yeah.
was dangerous. You just got off, like straight up got off of a flight.
Yeah, I got pretty drunk, but it was fun. It was fun. I got in, landed at like 1 p.m. We were having a meetup by like 5 or 4 or something.
Oh, I completely
don't
forgot that when I
remember.
got in, I went straight to London Comic-Con. I guess I could talk a little
Oh
bit
yeah,
about that.
talk about that.
So I didn't sleep on the plane at all because Virgin Atlantic offers you 0 legroom. It's worse than a domestic flight. So I didn't sleep at all. Got in, went straight from the airport to the hotel, which was 2 hours because you have to go straight through central London. Got out of there, then took the subway to the LRI or LIR or something train all the way out to like near the O2 Arena to go to this London Comic-Con thing.
Oh.
It was cool. I got to see the Sneaky Zebra guys. Saw Gizzy Gaza. Saw some other people, and just like it was cool and everything. And there weren't a lot of lines, so if I really wanted to get something signed or get some art done, I could have. But
Was anyone cool or famous there?
yes, there was some people like some cosplayers that were famous, like your favorite D Pity was there.
He just wears a Deadpool
Wait,
mask.
are there famous cosplayers?
Oh, yeah.
Vampy Bit Me was there.
I don't know that one. Is she hot?
Isn't fucking Jessica Negri famous?
Yeah,
she's
actually a really
famous.
funny thing just happened with her subreddit. Like she became a
mod of the subreddit,
and people
yeah.
were freaking out. And it's just like, I mean,
How are we going to talk about how hot you are now with you moderating it?
pretty much?
No, so I tried to enjoy it there, but I was at that point delirious from no sleep. So I eventually went back and did pass out. But yeah, on the way back, on the trains back, I was pretty much on the verge of starting to see stuff. And yeah, so then you got in. We did the meetup. It was great again as usual. There was this one guy who wasn't so great because he like gypped off whatever bar we were at.
I was not clear on what exactly happened. So he gave them just like a dead credit card and then bought everyone drinks on it.
I
and
guess.
then just ghosted out of there.
That's what I think happened. I'm not sure. Like the lady was like, "Hey, your friend he left his credit card here," and I was like, "Oh, I mean, he's not really like my friend. He was just kind of like doing this meetup thing. I don't really know like what to do about this. But you have his credit card. You can charge him, right?" And they're like, "Oh, I mean." Sort of. I'm like, well, if he left his card, I'm sure he's coming back because obviously you want to come back and get your card.
Yeah.
And one thing led to another, and apparently, like, he just left.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
This guy's going to fan meetups all over the UK.
Yeah.
Yeah,
just,
that's all. My theory when he told me
sabotaging
the
him.
story was that he probably just searches fan meetup on Twitter And then
But why specifically fan meetups?
It's a prank.
Because
It's a great
he needs
prank.
friends.
Yeah.
Fan meetups are very
Chaotic?
No, I was gonna say they're very what's the word? They're just very welcoming to really anyone.
Yeah.
So it's probably a really good place to meet friends, even though you don't know maybe the subject of the meetup at all, or the reason why people are.
He
meeting
did
up.
have face tattoos.
Did he?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's all very strange.
Anyways, everyone else was great. He was fine too till he started stealing beers. But everyone else was great. We got to see Luke Garvey again. Saw Sam Dawson again.
Yeah.
And Luke was very happy to receive the gift that we brought him, which is just a little framed thing.
A piece
Yeah.
of free merch swag. That we
But then
got.
it all started falling apart there because that night so the next day we had to do this. So we were there for James Bond for the Spectre Blu release. Go buy it because they were nice enough to send us out there and do this whole experience thing. It was great.
Digital HD.
So if you are a fan of the James Bond series, haven't seen Spectre yet, rent it, buy it, do whatever you need to do.
I thought it was pretty good. I saw
Yeah,
it.
it's a good Bond movie.
Great action scenes.
Yeah, great action scenes.
Beautifully shot. Hoyt van Hoytema.
Yeah.
He's amazing.
So the first day we had to go to this Bond museum, which was cool. See, they had all the props from the movies, all the vehicles and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And so that morning, I woke up at 4:00 in the morning to start writing the daily episodes and Tech Tuesday and some stuff for our channel too. And so I was up that early, and we did this whole thing all day, and then got dinner, and then went to this place near Millbrook Testing Grounds. So at about midnight or 1 a.m., I just started losing it again. It was just the entire trip for me was just slowly losing my mind. So it wasn't as fun. But the next day,
The trip really didn't start until we got to Millbrook.
Yeah.
Which it's north of London, I think.
I think so. I'm
I
not
don't know.
entirely positive.
I slept on the bus.
Yeah.
I was just.
But the
immediately
town we
transferred
stayed in was lovely.
It seemed lovely from the view from the hotel. Couldn't
Yeah.
tell you otherwise.
It's
There was
it's where we got chased by the ducks. What
was
is this thing doing?
I don't know. She's like, what are you doing?
Anyways, there's lots of
Crazy ass.
swans and geese.
A beautiful bridge with geese with a nice view of the local Nando's.
Yeah,
that I
the
didn't get
Nando's
to
was
check
right
out.
across the way that time.
But then they drove us to this place called
Millbrook Proving Grounds.
where
Yeah.
they prove if these cars are roadworthy or just a dud.
And so when you show up to this place,
It's
they're
like
so
going to
strict.
Area 51.
Yeah, they take your phones and they tape over both of your cameras and any other camera things you have in your bag if you have a laptop or tablet with it on or anything like that. They tape all that stuff up. And you go in and I don't know, tell everyone what we saw inside
Yeah, so
that we can legally talk about, I guess.
I mean, I don't think I saw anything.
Well, they had
secret.
those military trucks that kept going around too. I don't know.
Yeah, but I wouldn't even know. It's like, yeah, they're testing cars.
Yeah.
Cars that I don't
Well, why
know.
would it be so secret if you guys are there as press and to do?
Well, they were
videos?
taking us to a very specific part
area,
of it
yeah.
because, the other 365 days out of it, while we were there, they have cars from various auto manufacturers testing the cars, handling and all sorts of shit.
Oh, that aren't released yet.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
for NDA purposes.
So,
Yeah.
the
It'd be like next year's Jaguar. Or
yeah,
whatever.
they have a bunch of different tracks that sort of simulate different aspects of driving. Like they have a alpine twisty turny road
Yeah.
with lots of hills,
They had
and then they have a racetrack.
So the coolest thing that we got to do there is there's this course that's literally a perfect circle with perfect embankments on it, and so we didn't get footage of this. So I guess we can talk about it here. We'll probably talk about it if we film some additional stuff for it. But we got to my first thing, and Elliot got to do it as well. Was we got to get into these Aston Martins and just tear stuff up in them. And
Yeah.
so the first thing I did was I went on this
Have
big
a go.
circular track, and I had never ridden on the right side of the car, never driven on the right side of the car.
it was weird.
And they're like, okay, so you've never done this before, so let's just put you in a $200,000 car, and just take it onto this circular thing that you've also never driven on the other side of the lane, and go 135 miles an hour right now. Punch it, go 135. Yeah. And then so you get up sideways on this thing. And he's like, all right, now bring it down to 100. And you're just going 100 miles an hour. And he's like, okay, now you have to trust me on this. Take your hands off the steering wheel and just put them in your lap. I'm like, okay. And he's like, this is the only track in the entire world that's perfectly mapped out like this, to where if you drive 100 miles an hour in this lane, the car will never stop going around.
And each lane was marked, so
Yeah.
it was 60, 80, 100, 120, and it was pretty nuts.
Yeah. It's they told us to switch lanes while we were doing it too. You could switch
it's
lanes with no
okay,
hands.
decelerate and accelerate. Yeah.
If you get down to 75 miles an hour, you'll switch lanes into the other lane.
Okay.
And then you exit the track with no hands as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, even on that one, I got it up to he said like 130 is as fast as they'd let us go. So
Yeah.
I did like 2
that's
laps
what-
at 130. I'm like, well, I'm gonna just go 130 for the rest
Yeah.
of this fucking
Is that
thing.
because the course is on an ascension? Like the
Yeah.
It's
the
like
centrifugal
you're
force.
Yeah,
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
driving like sort of
it's like
sideways.
a NASCAR course, but,
Yeah, but a
perfect
perfect circle.
Yeah.
And then, do you want to talk about the mile straight?
Yeah, the mile straight was pretty much a drag strip, and yeah, they would just like put you in sport mode, which I wasn't quite clear on the difference, but I think it was just a way more sensitive like accelerator.
It has the accelerator goes higher in the RPM,
Okay,
and also the suspension is stiffer.
yeah,
So the car is able to. I think I'm repeating what the guy said as accurately as possible, but I think the suspension is stiffer, so that the car isn't like it's not responding to the road and like absorbing shock or anything like that to waste.
Right.
Like
It's only made
transition
for
transition to the
straightaways.
road. Yeah.
Yeah.
but yeah, they got that up to like 165
Yeah.
miles an hour. Like by like the quarter mile, they tell you keep like accelerating, and like you see the end of the track coming up, and then like finally at 3/4 of a mile, they're like, all right, now brake. And it looks like you're totally gonna fucking crash the
Yeah.
car.
But the car has like
It has
carbon.
the best brakes I've ever seen.
Yes,
Like
or
you hit it and you're just
ceramic
like,
carbon brakes. Yeah. But no, that was like the most terrifying
joy.
thing too, because you're going 165 miles an hour in a car that's that expensive. It's just like ridiculous.
The scariest one was the Alpine driving course, which was like basically driving up to like Big Bear or something. Like it was like mountain driving, twists and turns and shit.
Yeah,
I
at like
did-
100.
Yeah, well, not even that fast. I did that one first before I'd done any other driving. So it was my first time driving on the right side of the vehicle, and like the guy kept having to like grab my wheel because I was just like naturally gravitating towards like the center of the lane.
Yeah.
He's like, you're going on the curb.
Yeah, luckily I got to do that one later in the day, so by the time I did it, it was pretty much I was getting way better at keeping the car on the road correctly.
Yeah.
But it's cool because the guy's just sitting there as if he's like your rally car driver,
Mm-hmm.
and he's just going left turn coming up at 100 yards, slow down,
Yeah.
brake, speed up, do this hairpin, speed into it, hit the brake. Like, and so it was like honestly cool, like driving in some sort of like long distance twisty turny race where your guy is just guiding you
Yeah.
the whole way.
Be a great theme park. Like
Yeah. Oh,
Oh,
no, I was
yeah,
asking him
that'd be
too. I was
amazing.
asking him there. I was like, can people just come here and
yeah,
spend
they're
money and
like,
do it?
no,
Nope,
this is
absolutely
really
not.
rare.
Yeah.
We even saw like I won't describe the car, although I don't think it wasn't anything special. But this guy was like doing this crazy course and then doing donuts and doing all these crazy moves, and I was like, why is this person doing that out here in that car if it's not like being tested for upcoming things? They're like, oh well, companies send out private drivers, like people's private drivers, like transporter style,
Yeah.
out here to train. And I'm like, well, why is he doing all this crazy shit? And they're like, if for some reason someone comes under attack and they need to have defensive driving skills to get that important like dignitary or person out of harm's way, they have to know this
Yeah.
stuff. So it's like something new that I learned about that.
Yeah, and then so I don't know why I didn't know this, but the Aston Martin DB10 in the film, like I thought that was a new production model of the car. But
No.
apparently it's not. Apparently it's a concept car. No plans for production at all. They built 10 total of them.
Well, they said it's to make it. They're trying to show the public what the future of Aston
Right,
Martin
which is
might
it's
look
a
like.
concept
Yeah.
car, but like unlike a real concept car or unlike usual concept cars, like this is a fully functional car.
Yeah.
They just built 10 of.
Right.
2 of which they recently sold for like £2.5 million
Jeez.
each. But they had 2 of those that were used in the movie.
Yeah.
One of which was used for shots from the outside of the car.
With Bond driving.
Yeah, and then one of which was used for shots where Daniel Craig would actually be in the car. And that one was crazy because it was like
They built
like
basically
a go-kart frame on top of the
Yeah.
car with a stunt driver controlling everything.
Mm-hmm.
And in both cases, pretty much their goal was just like make us like shit ourselves. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went out with Mark Higgins, who's the stunt driver on the movie, and he did basically a drifting demonstration with us in the car.
It was
Terrifying.
so goddamn
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, it was the coolest, like by far the coolest thing.
They did like a rally track
ever
before
done.
that too.
Yeah.
Not dirt rally, but like road rally.
Yeah, and that was super cool. Like sliding around hairpins
Right.
with this guy who's one of the best drivers in the world. It was just incredible.
There's-
Give that dog a Benadryl.
There's one car in the or one scene in the movie where the DB10 has flamethrowers on it. So I wonder if like that was something that's attached to it or built into the car.
We saw some of the ones at the museum that had all that stuff on it.
Yeah.
And those were all just like straight up prop, like empty cuts.
That's what I would
Yeah.
think that like those like with the rockets and the
Yeah, no, they're
flamethrowers,
just being towed
they're,
and shit.
They're like it's like they modify like the body
Yeah.
and then put the body in a different car because
Yeah.
why
Why
tr-
go
why
to all that?
trash
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, these
a
things are the most
DB10?
luxurious cars. On the
Yeah.
inside. The one that we did the Alpine course in was a sedan, like full rear seats and everything. And man, it was just like, I remember saying like after I got out of one, I'm like, yeah, you know what? People like me shouldn't be able to afford these cars. They should be prohibitively expensive.
Yeah.
That's how nice they are.
It was the one with the driver on the top.
Yeah.
Like that one, for a car that, only appears on camera in a movie, barely.
Yeah.
Like the handcrafted like leather interiors on it were fucking insane.
Yeah.
Like it was like every surface of it was fine Italian leather, like really nice stitching and shit. And was like, this is
a prop.
a
basically.
prop.
Yeah.
Yeah. You didn't even have to do that, but they did.
Well, so all that stuff's going to come out hopefully next week. We do have some footage of us in the cars getting freaked out. Unfortunately, there wasn't like any footage of us drag racing or anything. I think there's B-roll of us doing it. But yeah, we're going to lock that down and make a video out of it. It was like honestly one of the coolest experiences of my life. Like
Nice.
There's only so many people in the entire world that have ever gotten to do that. So it was just super cool to do. But yeah, then the rest of the trip, we just kind of, it was all very short. We just went back to London and had a few pints and recorded
his,
Weekly Weird News at 6:30 in the morning and then
got
came home.
harassed by a homeless British man.
Yeah.
Their homeless are at least on par with ours.
Yeah. Come
They,
right
they
up.
do not care about interrupting whatever you're doing.
I was like sitting there going like, every second that you're trying to like talk to it, like just wait till we're done. Because every second that you're trying to talk to us during us filming this is wasting minutes of upload time from the hotel's shitty internet.
Right.
I was really frustrated. I was like, can you please stop? Just wait till we're done, please. Like I was
My
meaner
favorite
than
part
I've
of
ever
that
been.
is because I watched the footage and he was
Yeah.
like, "Whoa, why are you getting testy?" It's like,
Like,
what?
because I'm doing my job.
Yeah.
You're literally like walking into someone's office and
Yeah.
ruining everything.
And
Yeah.
I loved it, like that whole non-news article about Hillary getting like interrupted by Black Lives Matter
yeah.
protesters came out. I was like, no, I sympathize with her. I'd be
Yeah.
fucking pissed too. If someone
Yeah.
just like interrupted me while I'm talking.
Yeah.
You wait your turn, damn it.
It was just like, it was annoying. Like many times over the trip, like they'd come up and be like, hey, yeah, like I would love to get a place to stay tonight or whatever. And like give them like, I would give most of them all of my change because can't use it when I get back to the States. So I didn't have any problem with it. I was just like, can you please come, like just wait. Just wait till we're done filming because you're ruining everything right now. But I don't know. That was our British trip. It was actually a lot of fun aside from being very stressed because doing anything away from the office is immediately harder. And then when you
don't like understand that you're
8 hours
a complete
ahead,
time.
yeah. Well, people were like hitting us up for stuff at midnight. Like, hey, can you guys film this thing really quick?
Bed.
Yeah. So that was annoying, but the driving the cars was lots of fun. But while we were over there, something took the world by storm. Maddie hates it. Me and Elliot hated it at
I don't want
first.
to talk about.
I still hate
so
it.
dumb.
Andy at Andy McLennan 10 asks, "What did you think about the Damn Daniel meme?"
I think it's fucking dumb. My first reaction to it was,
This is stupid. Why does anyone care?
yeah, it made me feel very old. I was like, there's nothing special about this. Like any kid could have filmed this and put it on the internet. Why is this one being cared about at all? So I mean, it's children. They're dumb. They don't know what's good and what's not. So I mean, I guess I could see why children would think it's funny. But then like the real internet news media started picking up on it. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? Yeah, I know it's a kid with white Vans.
Yeah, I think
gives a
the only
shit?
time it caught on for us was that the repetitive nature of it and seeing it all over the place. That's what made it funny for me, is that it actually became something that huge and the entire world had to be forced to understand just what the hell a Damn Daniel was.
You know, I think
I did like the part where, because when I watched the initial video, I'm like, wow, this is stupid, and immediately shut it off. But I did like the part where he says, back at it again with the white Vans.
Sure, but like the kid's voice is weird. I don't like it. I'm like, at first, like I genuinely was concerned that it was like a mentally challenged child, like doing like videos, and that's why he talked that way. But no, he's just like a normal fucking bro who probably smokes too much weed.
Yeah, well, he's 14. I hope he doesn't smoke too much weed.
Probably does. He lives in Riverside.
Yeah,
but I
did end up getting a lifetime supply of Vans.
Oh, great.
Okay, one
His
pair of
feet
Vans
aren't
a year.
even done growing.
Well, that brings up the whole different argument of, these people who become hyper internet famous for one specific thing. I mean, you can think about the damn Target kid or whatever his name was.
Alex from
Target.
Probably, hey,
But
kid, let me tell you about what it's like.
You
after
have
the
all of these
limelights go
media.
down.
You have all of these media outlets like BuzzFeed and just any this thing was covered by everyone, and they're profiting tens of thousands of dollars off of perpetuating this nonsense, and the creators get essentially nothing.
They didn't create anything though.
But they did create whatever it is.
Well, they should have put it on YouTube and signed up with like Juke and Media.
Yeah, I know. I agree. But like,
Come on, get some business sense here,
Yeah.
kids.
yeah. Well, that's the thing is like it does make an
gave it
argument
away.
for media companies profiting off of that. I guess I don't know.
If they'd done any actual work, I'd feel bad for them.
Yeah.
It's literally just a kid shouting at another kid.
Yeah, I don't think it's worth analyzing at all because it's just stupid. I think stupidity becomes viral in a way that you can't analyze, you can't figure it out. It just happens, and the reason why it gets picked up is because everyone wants to latch on whatever is trending. So it's a wagon that everyone wants to latch on to. It's completely volatile.
I think
Yeah.
people
and
are just
it'll go
looking
away
for
within a week.
people are just looking for something to escape
Yeah.
in right now.
Yeah.
It's a very
It's
scary
yeah.
time.
Oh,
I
we'll get to
agree.
that. We'll get to that.
I agree. No,
Yeah, it's
they're-
total escapism. But I
Yeah.
liked it. It was funny to do after we got our hands on it because it's just like, oh, let's make another stupid Snapchat with a fucking damn Daniel stupid thing in it. So I don't know. I like those moments in time because it does no, shut up. It does like do this thing where it like brings the world together for something silly and stupid in spite of all of the negativity that happens online and in the real world. Like we're like facing down the barrel of a probable Donald Trump presidency right now, and damn Daniel broke us away from that reality for a little bit.
I
know that.
don't think damn Daniel did that. I can do that many other ways. I can read a book. I don't need to, have this. What bothers me is it's easily avoidable if you don't go on Twitter and go on Facebook. But I do go on Twitter and Facebook, so
Yeah.
I don't want to see shit like this. And not like I'm like against these kids for putting out these videos. Like it's fine, whatever. But it really gets shoved down your throat, and it's
Too
dumb.
much.
Well, so
It
this
didn't deserve all the attention.
luckily waiting in the wings was guy whose dick pops out while dancing.
That-
Is that the
See, that's
official
just-
name? Is that the official
I
meme
don't know.
name?
It's hard to track.
It's hard to track down
actually.
because every site keeps erasing it.
Well, it does feature full frontal nudity from a person who didn't necessarily consent to it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I can see the obstacles in it. But yes, it's a feature. I believe it started on Snapchat.
Yeah.
With a guy at a one theory or one explanation I
Theory.
saw.
There's already theories about it.
Someone was saying that it was like
Where are you trying to go?
it was a fraternity sorority co-ed formal at
Yeah.
UC Santa Barbara. But anyway, it's this guy in a suit dancing to Drake and Rihanna.
Yeah.
And then he tries
breaks
to
it down.
Tries to get low. He like getting ready to go real low with it.
Yeah.
He goes down and like right when he hits in the dance move, the pants just fucking split apart. And his dick and balls just flop out
Yeah.
for just
Perfectly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why are you biting me?
I don't know. I'm gonna lock this dog in
Yeah.
the fucking cage. Just being a little bitch.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully that guy consented to that going. I mean, it's on
I
Snapchat.
doubt- I
so
don't think
it's-
he did.
it's
He
dangerously-
should. Yeah, he should own up to
Get
it.
on Ellen with a lifetime supply of like
but-
pants that don't rip.
Plus, he to be fair, it was a pretty decent sized dick too.
I don't think anyone should be ashamed if their
They're
dick,
a tiny dick.
if their dick, became a viral sensation.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, they did have the micro penis guy that won the micro penis contest, and he wasn't ashamed.
Well,
I mean, he won a contest.
Yeah.
He won something.
This guy's he's got to win something.
Yeah.
This is just another example of media sites perpetuating this meme factory that don't pay up.
I'm gonna be this guy for Halloween. I'm gonna get a suit with like a Velcro tearaway crotch, and then go
popping out.
down to the Hustler store and
A fake dick.
they moved it used to be in Hollywood. I think they moved it, but
Where'd they move it to, Elliot?
I don't know.
Probably
But
like
I'm,
Gardena or something.
I'm gonna buy like a prosthetic dick and balls and just have it waiting in the
Well,
wings.
same thing happened
And then they're like,
to-
what are you for Halloween? I'm like, let me show you.
The same thing happened to Lenny Kravitz. It's pretty much the same
Oh,
thing
yeah,
that happened to
Lenny
Lenny
Kravitz
Kravitz
one
thing.
was
But Lenny Kravitz was wearing leather pants, which is I think is harder to rip than like whatever
Oh, so he was
polyester
really breaking it
pants this
down.
guy had.
Yeah.
They
oh,
need
well.
to make like leggings for men, so this doesn't happen.
Yeah, he probably was. He had to have been going commando.
I don't know. Maybe he was wearing like silk boxers or something.
Rip the whole thing.
Yeah.
he
Power
might
of
have
the
been
penis.
commando because maybe
Yeah,
his
I-
pants were just so tight that he couldn't even fit
I would
boxers
think
on.
that he would be.
I'm
going,
not
yeah.
fitting into my high school prom pants anymore.
Oh, it's such a good video. Every time I watch it, I have to watch it again like 10
We watched
times.
it in the airport. And we were both just like in tears.
Yeah.
That's the like Virgin Atlantic like
clubhouse?
premium lounge.
We're surrounded by old businessmen just
Yeah.
laughing at a guy whose dick and balls are falling out.
Oh my god.
Simpler things. That really.
And they could all hear what we were talking talking about. We're like, Elliot, you got to see this video. This guy's dick and balls flying
Yeah.
up. And it's just me and Elliot giggling.
There's probably a guy who heard that and was like, "This is the Trump America that we are now living in."
Oh, I have a great
These
story.
fucking guys over here."
Well, we were the only Americans on this. Like,
Yeah, it was me and Elliot. One of
Orange
the
Exactly,
trip.
even more so.
All
This is America.
all the French people on the trip openly did not want to be around
They
us.
went. We were getting into like 3 different cars, and one of like I think they were one of the French ones was just like, which car are the Americans going in? And they were like, this one, and he's like, okay, and just kept walking.
Oh wow.
Yeah, damn.
yeah, damn,
German
Daniel.
guys were cool.
Yeah, I like the
German
German
dudes
guys.
are always way cooler than French guys.
except for that whole mess in the 40s.
Nah, they learned from it.
Oh yeah, they definitely. Yeah.
They learned their lesson.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that was that thing while we were gone that was happening.
Damn, Daniel.
Damn, Daniel. Another thing we did on the trip was we watched lots and lots of Donald Trump videos. All amazing.
Did you guys see Vox's video that went viral? Like Ezra Klein's. Like I saw it on
missed that one.
Facebook and I feel like I think it saw like when I shared it, had like 30 million views, and that's Facebook, so
Yeah,
it's not
real views.
Not real views, but I had like at least like 15 friends on Facebook sharing.
What was it?
He just kind of broke it down like in a very simple way of like we should not like Trump isn't a joke anymore. Let's stop like laughing
no,
at
no.
it.
It's
Like
not
we have to start being serious about it and not having like kind of reveling in the fun.
No, but
of
that's
Trump.
the problem is that there's a lot of people who are serious about this now, but there's no way to stop it because it's not a joke to the majority of conservative voters.
Yeah.
He's serious. Like he's
Yeah.
their savior.
So it was kind of like a video calling out people who are apathetic about it and just being like, it's time for if you're apathetic about it, then you are basically voting for Trump.
You're contributing to the
Exactly,
to the mess.
yeah.
Well, our friend Dave Schilling, who writes for The Guardian, just
He
put
went
up
to
a piece. And
He went to a Trump rally.
in Nevada and also stayed at Trump Towers, which description of it was hilarious. But he
It
talked
smelled like baby powder and.
I've stayed at
Old
a Trump
Man.
Tower before. It's a terrible hotel. It's
It
awful.
doesn't have a casino in it.
Yeah, there's no casino.
You
It's
can't
off the
smoke
strip.
inside. Yeah, it's bullshit.
But there are TVs in the bathroom. So
There you go. Okay.
Who
But
cares?
at the end of the article, he said, because he's talked to a bunch of Trump supporters, there were a lot of great quotes in there. Like he talked to one woman at like a Ted Cruz rally about like why she supports Cruz and not Trump and blah blah blah. But then one part of it, she's like, "Well, we all hate Muslims. We agree on that."
Oh wow.
And then he talked to some girl. He's like, he finally found someone that like was his own age at one of these rallies. It was this like 28-year-old girl, and was asking her about it. And he's like, well, what issues are important to you? And she's like, LGBTQ rights and stuff like that, like ability to make my own choices. And he's like, like Donald hasn't really made a stance either way on like gay rights or anything. She's like, well, I mean, I'm sure he will. He's like, well, what if she doesn't? She's like, I don't know. I'll probably support him anyway. It's like,
okay.
Yeah.
it's all. And she's just like, I just love his attitude. Like,
His don't give a
his
fuck
give
attitude.
no fuck attitude. Like,
Yeah.
that's what everyone's
He
latching
knows.
onto.
That's what when I tweeted over the week, I was like, he's probably gonna win, and we might deserve that as a country
No, we
because
don't.
that's how America acts. Like it's
Well,
this
That's how
cocky-
his supporters act, but I think that they're the majority right now who are vocal and stuff like that. But when it comes to people actually like putting ink on paper and voting, how can you?
I mean,
I don't
he's
know.
won a lot of those primaries.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
but I think in the general election, that like 3-month period before, I think it's November 6th, like
Well-
those one-on-one debates are, I think, the crucial debates for
But you
the
can't
the
debate with him. Like,
He'll shut you down,
That's why,
but he won't make a point.
that's why I think
He-
he'll be shut down on those debates.
No.
I
He
don't.
won't. I don't
see,
think
like,
so.
You would think, but people are so stupid. His supporters are so fucking stupid that they think that like him not answering questions and just responding with insults is like him winning the fight.
Yeah.
Like that's how their fucking idiot brains work.
Plus,
And yes,
They don't care about
you're a
facts at
fucking
all.
idiot.
No,
I've held back for too long. You're a fucking idiot if you support Donald Trump.
but the problem also is that Jeb Bush tried that already. Jeb Bush
Yeah, but
specifically.
he's Jeb Bush though.
I
Like,
know.
he's a meme in himself.
I
Like,
know he's.
yeah, Jeb Bush is like, oh, look, he's just responding to me like a fucking
Yeah.
child. There's no one else seeing this.
Yeah, he got beaten into the earth, and that's why he was. So
I don't care.
shitty.
I have no sympathy for Jeb.
N-
Bush.
me
neither do I.
neither.
Neither do
Yeah.
I. I'm just saying, like, when you get Hillary up there, who I would love for Sanders to be the candidate.
It's 45-44 apparently right now.
Okay, I
very
hope
close.
I
Yeah.
hope that he is the candidate.
Super Tuesday is gonna be a big day.
Yeah.
But when Hillary is up there trying to debate him, it is going to be a slaughter.
Yeah, she's has to bring the facts.
Yeah.
And
But his
That's
supporters
really
don't
it.
care about the facts. And
Okay.
once he's the nominee, neither will any conservative voter.
I can't
Because
imagine.
they'll all hate Hillary so much, or if it is Sanders, they'll just be like, well, obviously I'm not going to vote for a socialist, so I don't give a shit what Trump says anyway.
Yeah.
I think like something like 100 million people vote in the general election, like every presidential cycle, which is like a third of the country.
Yeah.
But I guess a lot of the young people and stuff like that. But I just can't imagine like 60 million people voting for Donald Trump.
I couldn't imagine him getting this far, Maddie.
yeah.
I couldn't imagine him getting this far.
But I really do think he has momentum and inertia because of like the comedy and entertainment factor of it.
I don't think so. I think that kind of like
Turn off the episode. Sorry
Turn
to
off the lights.
sorry to interrupt our just
Amazing.
fun talk there, but we got a sponsor. It's Loot Crate again. It's a monthly subscription box service for epic geek and gamer items and pop culture gear. For less than $20 a month, you get 4 to 8 items that include licensed gear, apparel, collectibles, unique one-of-a-kind items, and more.
Make sure to head to lootcrate.com/ETC and enter code ETC to save $3 on any new subscription. It also helps out the podcast. Keeps us in the seats talking for hours on end.
Yeah.
Loot Crate is more than just a subscription service. It's an entire community of fans that share their experience and interact with each other around the unboxing of each month's crate. Get one for your little brother.
Film them. And they guarantee $40 or more in value in every single crate. Sometimes it's a lot more. Every month there's a different theme, and all the items are curated around that theme. For March, there's a little movie coming out this month. You might have heard of it. 2 of the biggest superheroes ever are going to fight each other for the first time on screen ever.
Spider-Man and Iron Man? No, that's in May.
I'm talking about Batman v Superman. So I'm excited. You're excited. Get a box.
Now remember, you only have until the 19th at 9 p.m. Pacific to subscribe and receive that month's crate. It's a good time to learn about time zones. And when the cutoff happens, that's it. It's over. So go to lootcrate.com/ETC and enter code ETC. Save $3 on your new subscription today. But stick around because in the rest of the episode, we talk about how fucked you are in the education system.
it was like December where I was like, all right, this is not funny anymore. We're about to get into the actual like primaries and this joke should end. And it's so funny too because you can see like if you go back and look at every like week of the Republican Party going back and forth, like maybe this candidate can be the one that takes him down. Maybe it's this one. If you can see the support from the establishment or whatever people are calling it, piece by piece. Because first it was Carson. They were like, Ben Carson is the one. And they're pushing him so hard. And then after Carson, or no, first it was Bush, then it was Carson.
Then probably like Rubio. I think Rubio's
Rubio and Cruz
always
are
been
in
like
right
the establishment's kind of choice in the GOP.
Ted Cruz not, because no one likes him.
Yeah, he's no one in Congress likes him.
They don't want him, but he is like the other That's why conservative voters like him, because he's not.
Well, actually, even before all that, they wanted Mitt Romney.
Yeah,
they wanted Mitt Romney.
That's why Mitt Romney's coming out now and having to be the one that attacks Trump because he doesn't have a horse in the race. So they're using him to come out and attack him, which is it's good, but that's how dangerous this is, Maddie.
Yeah,
that's how dangerous.
We have no one to blame but ourselves.
Yeah.
And, well, the Republican Party definitely has no one to blame but themselves. They every time around they have like at least like one or two candidates who are like putting forward a fairly rational like common sense thing. Like in 2012 you had like John Huntsman, who I thought was like the most qualified candidate in the field by far. He had been the U.S. ambassador to China.
Yeah.
He spoke fluent Mandarin, was like pretty moderate on most things, but just conservative enough. But he was ousted because like, can we trust a guy that speaks Mandarin?
Yeah,
because he
it's
worked
ridiculous.
for the Chinese. I'm like, are you crazy? Like that would be such a fucking asset to have a guy who could like actually go to the negotiation table with China and speak their own fucking language, and you're just gonna make fun of that. And then like Rand Paul, I don't agree with at least half of his beliefs. I'm just like, this guy actually is very intelligent, knows what he's talking about.
And his father,
like,
too.
Yeah,
And Ron
him
Paul.
and his dad. Like,
Well, you still have Kasich, who is labeled as a moderate, but like who just defunded Planned Parenthood in his state.
Yeah, I mean, but at least like Kasich seems reasonable.
He has dad jokes.
Yeah.
He does tell dad jokes. I don't know. The whole thing's like chaos, and like as fun as it is to watch it, it's terrifying to know that this all has to like. It's going to be over in November. Like someone's going to be the presidential candidate.
So I think I'm cautious about it. That's why I'm trying to be more like I'm following it closer because I am legitimately worried that he could be the candidate. But ultimately, I just can't see the popular vote going his way.
If I can make it the question asked was at Rasmuses Vendelbo. asked, "Who do you think is going to win the election?" And my guess is going to be that I'm not saying that I want this, but my guess is going to be that Donald Trump will be the Republican candidate, Hillary will be the Democratic candidate, Hillary will win the election.
I don't know. Nothing so far has gone like according to plan.
Yeah.
And it never does. Like it's why it's hard.
Well,
it's January. Or it's
So bring it
February.
back to Elliot's point, like this problem with the Conservative Party, the GOP party, has started. It started when the 2008 election happened, where you have this snowball effect of whoever the loudest and craziest
Yes.
gets it, because people are so sick of not just Democrats and Republicans; they're sick of the government
Of politicians in
and of
general,
politicians. Yeah. So anyone that is against that and seems like that kind of person that'll just go in there and kick ass and take names, like
Yeah.
they don't
That's
give
not
a
how
shit.
it fucking works.
I
Like,
know,
people
but-
don't understand the basic fundamental way that the government works. Like, if Donald Trump gets elected, they think he's just like going to go in and like just take a hatchet to like, like Obamacare is like, that's it, it's been repealed.
Yeah.
Like, no, like, there's checks and balances and shit. You want someone who's able to talk to the Supreme Court and Congress and like all levels of government, because the best that you can hope for is that they have a positive influence on the government.
Yeah.
They can't really do all that much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you have a guy, the same thing, oddly enough, happened with Jimmy Carter. He made so many enemies before becoming president. So he had been a governor down in Georgia. He had no congressional experience or anything like that. And he ran on a platform of like, Congress sucks. Like, we need to do something about this shitty Congress. And then he became president. Congress fucking vetoed everything that he wanted to do.
Yeah. That's my fear with Bernie Sanders, is he could become another Jimmy Carter.
Sanders, though, he's been in the Congress and the Senate, though.
Yeah.
He has that over Jimmy Carter. Like, he actually, I'm sure a lot of them don't like him, but like he at least understands how shit works in there.
Well, and I also like his approach to being at least a sane person about getting things passed in government. Like anytime he's asked a question about
How are you going to do that? It's like, well, I can't do this by myself.
Yeah, no, we would work together to find solid ground on it. It's like when they were doing the initial Democratic debates, and they're like, no, ban all guns, we're going to ban all the guns, all the guns will be gone, we're going to get rid of guns, gun control, blah, blah, blah. And Sanders is like, listen, it's a lot more complicated than that. Like, we need to reach across the aisle and like really figure out what we can do to make things.
Like,
He's
he's in Big Gun's pocket.
Yeah, he's like, we can do this, like instant background checks, close the loopholes at gun shows.
Yeah.
But I come from Vermont. It's a rural state. Like people out there, if you call 911, no one's gonna be there for 30 minutes. Like it's the same thing in England too, because everyone's always like, oh, the guns are banned in England.
No,
blah, blah,
they're
blah.
not. You can buy a gun in England.
If you live
Not
out in the middle of
difficult, yeah.
nowhere in England, you can get a license to have a rifle.
Yeah. You just can't go into a store and get
Just,
one.
buy one.
That's true of most of Europe.
Yeah.
Like Germany and France, everyone's like, oh, France. Like, you can't get a gun in France. Like, no, you can. Like,
Yeah. It's just an extremely regulated system.
Yeah. And culturally, they don't have this gun fetish where, like,
We were
they
making
feel
the
like
joke,
buying
too.
a gun regardless.
Every time we go, we make the joke. Like people are like, hey, don't go out in this part of town at night. We're like, what
are they gonna do, glass me?
Yeah, what am I gonna get stabbed and go to the hospital for the night? So, I mean, it does make us tougher here. We do sound like assholes, but that's just the Donald Trump in all of us.
Yeah, I don't know. It's the whole thing
Vomit.
sucks. I don't like thinking about it. Let's talk about Damn Daniel again.
See, that's what damn Daniel is.
Yeah.
No.
It takes you away from the.
Well, let me say
reality.
this. I saw a documentary last week that really changed my perspective and gave me a very more optimistic view on what we can do this year with the election. And it's Michael Moore's Where to Invade Next. It is, I think, one of his best movies. And he doesn't talk about the election at all, but he shows like all these things that other countries have done to kind of like solve the problems that we have in the United States.
I mean, I want to
And-
see it, and it sounds great, but
Yeah.
like, no one is going to listen to anything Michael Moore has
Yeah,
to say
agreed.
in the year
I think-
2016,
I think this
other
is
than
the
people
movie-
that love him already.
Yeah.
I totally agree,
His
but
name is a liability at this
no,
point.
I agree. I think it would be amazing if like he could make a movie that wasn't a Michael Moore joint and not have him in it.
He needs,
I don't think that's
he
gonna.
needs to ghost write, ghost direct, and ghost produce something.
But
Because his name being attached to it is
no,
instantly,
I
like,
totally
liberal
agree. But if
propaganda.
there's gonna be one movie, I thought Sicko was this, but if there was gonna be one movie that would break out for him and like for people to kind of like take the Michael Moore stigma away from his films, it would be this one, because there's no slant liberal or conservative at all. It's just literally laying out like what these countries do to get more vacation time, to fix the criminal justice system, to have happier workers.
Yeah.
So it's a very bipartisan
smaller
movie in
country.
a way. But he because he's Michael Moore, the far right won't listen to him. But I think there's a lot of people on the left that this is like a really good movie to watch if you're progressive, if you consider yourself a liberal, like if you want like a cheer me up kind of thing. You want it's kind of like a coach getting in like the halftime and being like, we can do this.
It sounds to me like a brochure of where to move.
You would think. No, it's you would think because he's showing how great these countries are, but like I don't want. There's no way to spoil the movie, but like at the end, he kind of sums up by saying all these ideas that these people have and how they changed their countries were ideas that were established in the United States. Like they were motivated because of our Constitution, because we were at one point immigrants to this country and create this country on our own. And that motivated like people like Finland to change their education system, places like Denmark to change the way they look at things.
The FDR like New Deal like led to
so
much shit in other people's countries and like people forget how much of a socialism.
They look at Social Security and that established a totally new way of looking at socialism for these other countries. But we're at a very different world now, and because of the bipartisan because of the two-party system, there's always a right or wrong answer. And he kind of like just shows how there doesn't need to be that. It can just be about the well-being of. I know there's only like 10 million people in Denmark compared to like 300 million people here, but we can adopt some of the ways that they look at how to treat their citizens,
Hey, listen,
and that's why I like Bernie. That he's just the kind of person.
Even I have healthcare. I have health insurance, as most people do now, regardless of what level of it is. Mine's not very high, but even that, like, it's just like it's such a hassle to do anything medical related in this country. Yeah, it's just a mess. Like I get so jealous.
It's not a clean system. It's
like anytime
really
I've ever heard of anyone like, I mean, we have a ton of British, Canadian people. We have friends all over the world thanks to what we do. And it's like, I know when I was, 19, I broke my leg and I just went to the hospital and got it fixed. And they were like, all right, here you go.
Yeah.
And like, I broke my foot when I was young and it like hurt my parents for a long time.
Yeah. Just getting braces.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Like the fact that I affected my parents' life in a negative way because I'm an idiot and broke my foot is like, yes, it's my fault for breaking my foot, but I didn't mean to do it.
Sure.
But like,
why should I have to pay for your foot? My kid didn't. Oh shit! My kid broke his foot too.
Yeah.
For it.
Or like it's terrifying to think that like, what if one of my parents have really bad health insurance because they both tried to retire and then realized that they couldn't afford to retire.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm constantly worried. Like if one of them gets sick, like what the fuck, me and them are going to do.
Yeah.
Because it's not like I'm just gonna let them get sick and I would help pay for whatever. But it's like. It's scary. It
sucks too because we already technically solved this problem.
Yeah.
But it was like such a fucking compromise in the end that it's just like, okay, well, we
basically
closed a lot of
the
shitty
insurance
loopholes.
companies won again, except for pre-existing conditions.
Yeah, we closed a lot of shitty loopholes that were like fucking a lot of people over, but it's still a total mess. And what sucks is that like, the compromise that we reached after like 5 years of just intense fighting between the parties and shit, and like going to the Supreme Court and shit, we got. Our system still sucks. It's slightly better, but now it's like everything that's wrong with healthcare, people just blame directly on Barack Obama. It's like no, this was fucked up before.
Well, and it's too like, they
better.
go through and they preach a lot about how conservatives preach a lot about like just open the state borders to like so they can compete against each other and like which is fine and good if this wasn't in place or whatever. But all you're doing is creating a thing where your deductible is going to be $10,000 and they'll deny you for coverage every single step of the way because you're only paying $50 a month for your health insurance.
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely had like shit happen where it's like, oh yeah, like we could run this test. It'll cost you like $5,000.
Yeah.
Because you haven't reached your deductible. And I'm like, well, I'm just not going to do that.
Yeah.
I'll wait a year.
Let's see if it kills me.
Yeah.
I guess the test will be if I get really sick and am forced to come back here.
I'll just like,
I'll do my own test.
It's terrifying. Like my parents should probably be getting cancer screenings and stuff at this age, but first of all, they can't take off work even though they're pushing fucking 60-something years old. They can't take off work because then they're fucked. And also because it'll cost them thousands of dollars to get this stuff done.
Yeah.
It's
the way the system works is you have to be like set yourself at a very young age with really good retirement, really good pension, and really good medical that
Just
you're
do it.
that
You're
by the
American,
time
just do it.
Just
by the
plan
time
your whole life.
by the time you're at the age where you need all those tests and all the things, you're good.
Yeah.
But I mean, at this point, it has to be a very small fraction.
Oh yeah.
Definitely
Also,
a minority of the country.
The education
in that,
system
in that.
does not
Prepare you for anything.
Well,
No.
everything I know about like personal finance and shit, which is not a whole lot, but everything I know from my parents. I didn't learn it in school or anything.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It was like my dad literally just like showing me how to do this and this, and it's like, if we're such a if we're trying to be such a free market country where like it is all about like personal financial responsibility, like that should be like half of fucking high school. It's
Yeah.
just like learning how credit
Well,
cards work.
I have
learning
heard-
how
rather than
APRs
prepping
work.
up for that. So
I have
what you
heard
just
that happens now. I've heard from people that there are those classes, but they're
right,
electives.
they're electives. Yeah,
That
exactly.
should be a requirement.
No, the one of the great things they brought up in the documentary is in Finland they got rid of all homework and all SATs and all tests.
No school.
Yeah, but and that's like obviously the first thing you think of, but it actually
Did they
like
get rid of anchovies?
it
Yeah.
solved it solved that problem that like you're not then doing you're not in school just to pass a test. You're in school to learn how to
Yeah.
be a citizen of the country, and they teach you like civics is a huge part of Finnish education, and they teach you like how to if you want to be a citizen of Finland, here's how to do that. If you want to go overseas, here we have electives that'll teach you how to study abroad, all this kind of stuff. Rather than like shoving all this like STEM classes are really important, but
Yeah.
like the SATs and all that stuff that I was really against in high school. I never took the SATs because I was just like, fuck this. Like this is just like I have to.
No, I never
pay,
took them either.
pay,
Yeah,
I have to pay like enormous amount of fees for like
Yeah.
a test that I'm probably not gonna pass anyway. Like
I did great on them. Didn't affect anything about my life.
No.
yeah, because
We've
you
been
know
over this,
junior
like,
yeah.
I mean, it is a very unique and specific situation, but I dropped out of college after one semester, paid my, like, it was like, I went to community college, so it was like $2,500 or something
Yeah.
like that. I dropped out after one semester. Elliot has tens of thousands of dollars in student debt.
Right now it's like $37,000 that I
Well,
currently have.
it's insane.
I've
Yeah.
got it like down to like I originally owed like twice as much as that. But yeah, they need to like people need to stop thinking like, oh, if your kid doesn't go to university, like you're a fucking failure.
Well,
And your
no,
kid's
but
a
that's the
failure.
thing is like you have to present it like if there was no tuition problems for any of these things, even if it's a trade school, it's like, yeah, do what you want because if you want to be a welder, there are lots of those jobs and you can go learn that. If you really want to be a doctor, then please, we would love having more doctors in this country.
Yeah.
Like it has to be a thing where you're not just like people go into college. Like I remember when I was getting ready to go into college, people are just going into college and just picking whatever like class will make them the most money.
Yeah.
or whatever's fun. Like I remember like a lot of my
liberal
friends,
arts students?
Yeah, but like I had friends that when we all graduated and we all like a bunch of us went to this community college. One of them was like, I'm gonna take this yoga elective. Like what the.
Yeah,
why would the fuck were you pay for
Yeah,
a
those should
yoga class
just
in
get rid of those
school?
things
Yeah,
because those you should pay for.
but and
let
their
them pay for
their
electives.
justification was like, oh well, this will go towards a degree or certificate
That's
that I'm getting.
That's the other stupid thing too.
Then why the fuck? What yoga class is going to set you up for a career? Not, it's stupid.
Well, my big pet peeve with college, and I know a lot aren't like this, but mine specifically was, and it's a problem that's like happens in high school too. Is like I went to a fucking computer class because I had to pass it for college.
Yeah.
And I knew everything at that point because it was still back in a time where computers were mystifying to some people.
Yeah. Sure.
This was like 2001.
yeah.
And I went in, I got the syllabus for the class that had every assignment in it basically, and I just took the first 2 or 3 weeks of college and just did them as my homework every night. And I would complete one for each week or whatever, turned it in and never showed up for the class, and they failed me on attendance.
What?
Yeah, even though I had
Yeah.
turned in the entire syllabus.
Right.
Damn.
It's a shame. I do think though, like that like the European countries is an option for young people who are just graduating high school and want a good like and affordable college option. Go abroad. Like they have tons of classes that you can that
Didn't
are
you do
taught
that?
in
You went
English.
to Germany?
They're taught in
That was, like,
English.
study abroad.
But it was
No.
part of your like the
Yeah,
program.
yeah.
They'll allow you to like for a very nominal fee, like take English classes in like Norway
Yeah.
and
Well,
these
and
other,
the other,
Germany.
The other problem was too is like at the time, like obviously I wasn't as affected by it because I was going to community college and stuff like that. And but at the time, like And I know that there's a ton of other college students like that, especially if you don't come from a family that has money. Like my parents didn't have money when I was growing up. Like we were okay, but like not enough to like send me to like a big university or anything like that. So, but I know that I would get off of my classes at the community college and I'd go to Applebee's and work a full 8-hour shift after that to pay for everything.
I had a full-time job in college.
So, but that's the thing is like, how are you going to mentally prepare yourself for classes, tests, and getting the job that you want when you're working 24 hours a day, essentially, because class is work and work is work. And what are you sleeping 3 hours a night and then doing homework on the bus on the way to college? And then it's just a completely broken kind of system.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like what they have over in like Central Europe, where you just basically at various stages in your youth, you get put on a certain track and they're like, all right, this kid really into books and shit, going on the liberal arts track. It's like, all right, this kid's not too smart, but decent work ethic, going on like the more like manual track.
Yeah.
And so like you can't even get into like a liberal arts college unless you have like a proven track record from like age 15 showing that you actually are right for that.
And it's also too like I know a bunch of people who went and did 4 years of university and got out, and now they have jobs, but they don't pay that great. They just have like a title that allowed them to get that. And then I have friends who went to trade school and learned how to weld, and they're fucking killing it.
Yeah, no, it's a great path. It's just like in a lot of to a lot of people, especially white people, I think. Well, it's probably not just white people, but like any sort of culture where your parents were like college educated and successful
Sophisticated,
and like want the same for you. Like the whole idea, like I don't know how my parents would have felt if I had said like, no, I want to become a mechanic.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go do a 2-year apprenticeship and that's that. Like
Well, now you're host a show on YouTube, so
yeah, but like if I had said something like that, like even if my parents had like supported the decision, like I know for a fact that just like among the people I went to high school with and like among like just the whole atmosphere of like teachers and shit like that decision would have been looked down upon. Like, what are you doing?
So for me, my parents didn't go to college, but they wanted me to because they wanted me to do better than them. Like they always had that parental thing of you have to be better than us because you shouldn't have to work as hard as we do.
Yeah.
Like my dad was a mechanic and my mom was a lunch lady. Like you shouldn't have to do this like to support your family. We want you to go to college and do this stuff. So when I dropped out and went on tour with bands, I was disowned for about a year before they finally missed me and told me to come back and visit. But for a year they were like, you're throwing your entire life away. And they were just so upset by it.
Turned out well.
Luckily, it turned out fine. But like that
for the most part, it does. I think when you get to like a kid's gonna make a mistake.
Yeah,
you know,
it's also terrible to like. Right now, looking back at me when I was 18 years old, I was and I know a lot of kids are. There's a lot of people who are wise beyond their years. But looking back at someone like me at 18, I shouldn't be making any decisions like about higher education.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, like the whole thing, like when I was 18.
Well, and you're in high school too, and they're trying to like beat it into you, like, hey, what are you gonna do in 3 years?
Oh yeah, no,
yeah,
especially
the
at my
pressure.
high school. Like I went to like a Catholic private high school, so like it was like way even more like it was like definitely a college prep high school, and so like there's like the option of not going to college is just straight up not there. Like even the people who clearly shouldn't have been going like a university path, probably should have done like apprenticeship, trade school, that sort of thing. Even those people are like, well, I mean, I'm just gonna go to like Orange Coast College for like a year and figure it out. It's like, no, like you've never had an academic mind. You're wasting your fucking time. You're probably good at something else, but like the whole, I guess, like college prep culture is just so focused on an end game of having a fucking college degree, no matter how pointless or meaningless it actually is.
Yeah. Well, like I think about what I was good at back then, and it's the same shit that I'm good at now. It's just I figured out that I didn't want to do the university thing. It's like back then I was making websites for bands, I was editing skate and BMX videos, and I was learning Photoshop because I was making goofy fucking Photoshops and making flyers for concerts. So essentially stuff that I've
Doing
just
the same damn thing.
worked on.
Yeah.
It's true, but it's true. It's like you don't notice that when your mind is clouded by others trying to point you in the direction that you kind of don't want to go into.
Yeah.
So I'd say any advice that I could give anyone out there that's watching, like if you're really into something and you're like 17 or 18 years old, you should probably try to do that, because even if you fail at doing that,
Yeah.
you can always go back to college.
Yeah, I was gonna say like this. I mean, we're like talking about our each of our own experiences, but like
Yeah.
to sum up, basically all we're saying is like when you get to that age where you're 17, 18, and you become like a real life adult, quote
Yeah.
unquote. It is kind of like at that point your decision of what you want to do. You'll feel pressure from your friends, from your family, from your school that you're going to of like what you should be doing. But ultimately, like it's your bad decisions to make. It's your good decisions to make.
Yeah.
And whatever you do, like it's fine. Like unless you like decide to join ISIS or some shit. Like of course,
Yeah.
like that's
Yeah.
that sucks.
Good
Don't
advice,
do that.
Good advice, Maddie.
Don't do that. Don't join ISIS.
Yeah.
And
But
when you do, if you do decide to like go for education, like don't fucking waste it.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many
to
people that
yeah,
like
yeah.
go to college and then just like
They're there for to party.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like this is like a once in a lifetime opportunity to like not only learn but like sort of like prove yourself like and basically prepare for life in a workplace. Like it's not nearly as hard, but it's still like you have to do the work. Like life is only going to get harder. So like don't waste your education.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I've seen so many fucking people do that.
And to piggyback on that, like a lot of kids go to college paid by their parents,
Yeah.
and if you do have the opportunity, don't take it for granted. Like
Yeah.
they're like
Yeah.
like
There's
don't
someone-
waste it away.
There's someone who's sitting next to you, and the reason they're falling asleep is because they just got off an 8-hour shift and went straight to
exactly
school.
yeah.
And you're sitting there, and your parents are paying for it.
Yeah.
Don't take it for like don't take
Yeah.
it for granted. This
Very formative years.
This podcast turned into something way deeper than we started with.
Yeah,
which
we
was
had one
damn
fan
Daniel.
question.
Damn Daniel better do fucking great in college. Ellen's gonna
Well,
pay his
he's already
way.
has his shoes paid for, so
No, his-
that's one
yeah,
thing.
it's true. You better.
Even though
yeah.
Vans cost $35 a pair, like who
Yeah,
you know.
they're like 45.
I don't want to do any more questions other than
Yeah.
can we finger dab for someone?
Stupid. I'm done.
Yeah. We'll save these for next week, but we gotta get down to the esports arena.
Woo! Hot pockets.
Hot pockets.
Bye.